Frank, lovely to see you. You're looking well.
Cheers, you're not looking too bad yourself, man.
Okay, well, listen, let me ask you first of all, physically, how are you? And mentally, how are you?
Physical, I'm all right. And mentally, I'm okay. And the other
Good.
one is the others what you got to worry about.
And listen, both when you were a boxer full
Yeah,
time and also now,
yeah.
how do you see the difference between the importance of your physical health and your mental health?
But when I was younger to now,
Yeah.
when I was young, I went to a ball school, so we was very, very athletic, football, rugby, canoeing, camping, etc., etc. So we didn't really have time to think about bipolar or whatever we had. You know what I mean? If we had a problem, you know what I mean, we'd sort it out. The teachers used to, if we had a problem with a tutor, we go in the gym and put the gloves on, punch the granny out of one another, and go back and shake on it. You know?
Yeah. And did you feel that boxing was like doing you good physically and mentally?
Very, very good. I started when I was about 8. Stopped when I was about 12. Went to Walsall, left Walsall at 16, and I carried it on then.
And what do you think boxing gave you in that in terms of your, because you got bullied I mean, I've read your book, the new one,
Yeah,
and I was surprised to read that you got sent away to this special school and you
yeah.
actually got bullied quite badly there.
Yeah, very, very. I mean, sometimes I get dreams, nightmares at night time, thinking of the bullying used to go on there. There used to be some heavy, heavy guys there, older than me, and they didn't mess around. You know, if they told you to go and nick something for them and you didn't nick it, or if you got cake on the table, you know what I mean, they wanted it, they'd pick their nose and put it on there and say that it's theirs. Don't. It's that sort of like
Mm.
not mental torture, but that's boarding school, ball stool, tough guy attitude. You know what I mean? When you get to another level, you stop all that.
And
But these kids,
were you at that time, were you physically, you're obviously like you're recognized now as a kind
yeah,
of big guy, but
right.
because they were bigger than you, they picked on you.
Yeah, they're not much more bigger than me, but they were older than me, more experienced, and they've been in the world longer than me. So they had a chip on their shoulder, so they didn't see me as a threat at all. You know what I mean? They just thought I was a youngster that they could just pick on and whatever. And yeah, they
And
did.
what did that do to you? You say that it felt like, a form of torture. What did that do to you inside? What were you feeling inside when you were being bullied?
Sometimes it was a scary experience, but when I was young, I was a little bit of a bully myself. So yeah, I got taught. So when I became a senior, I sort of like cut it out, the bullying in the ball store.
Right. And what about what did you think you learned about the process of being kicked out of an ordinary school, as it were, and then taken by your mum to this place that was full of tough
I
kids?
think it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. You know what I mean? I was very easily led. I was bigger than my age. You know what I mean? I hanged around with guys 5 years older than me, 6 years older than me, and there was advanced. My mum knew I was very, very gullible, and she just wanted me to get out of London and go to a ball school because down London I was too easily led. And as I said, wrong crowd, wrong
And,
time.
and when were you first aware that what was stuff going on inside your head
Yeah.
was identified either by you as a problem or by other people as a problem?
Well, I don't know if it's other people. It's my problem. I've been brought up with a very, very strict family, mum and dad. You know, if you didn't do nothing what they said and whatever, you get a smacking and a beating or the belt or whatever. So I don't think that's affected me. But if it affected me anyway, I still got my manners. They taught me how to be manageable. Good morning, good evening, and
Mm.
you know what I mean. If they say go and do something, you have to do it very quick. You know. Or if you didn't, you get some, as they say, bitch licks in your backside.
And what? But so when you've been sectioned 5 times, yeah?
Yeah,
Because when I get the impression reading the latest book that with this one, uh, it was complicated because it was during COVID and during the lockdown. But
yeah,
I got the feeling that actually you felt a genuine sense of recovery while you were in there, and you came
yeah.
out feeling a lot stronger.
I did in a way because I had a gym in there, so that could take the what can I say, the rust off me. I went to the gym every single day, and it was a gym where you went for a walk and you just exercise. So if I went for a walk 5 times a day, which he allowed me to go around the yard and use the exercise, that's what I done. Just try to get fit, try to get strong, try to keep my mind of where I am, because sometimes it's like a dream, but a bad dream.
What was the worst thing about being sectioned?
It's a door shut in the staff, the patients in there. It's a horrible place to be.
What about? I mean, the other thing about bipolar, it tends to get identified as the two extremes. What about
Yeah.
what about how low do you get when you feel low?
I don't know how low. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can get low, but not low that I'm going to do anything to myself, or not low that I want to go and plan to do anything crazy or whatever. Sometimes in the winter, most people what are manic depression, have anxiety, whatever. In the winter, is much worse than it is in the summer.
And you write in the book about the effect, well, both the influence that George Francis, your trainer, had on you,
Yeah,
but also then the fact
man.
that he took his own life.
Very, very special man. But you see, the way I looked at George Francis, he came from Canning Town. He was a North London man. He was a very tough man in his own right. But his son died of cancer. His wife died of cancer. Very, very sad. Deepest sympathies to the family. But that was the last one, because he had a lot of lyrics in his head. He's a very experienced man. He's a lovely man to be around. And that weren't nice to go through that, because if I would have rang him like we used to go for walks and go down the hill farm and chill out together and talk about things, you know what I mean, about life and whatever, I don't think he would have done that.
What effect did that have on you, though, when you heard that?
It was a little blow here and there, but you see, when you say affect things, not everything could have effect on me. I'm a little bit more tougher than, you know what I mean? My dad died when I was 13, so I had to grow up very, very quick. So I'm not looking for no sympathy. Sometimes in life, there's good and bad. Some days a good day, some days a bad day. But it's a good day when you get up and you can see the light, the sun, you know what I mean, not light coming through the curtains, you know, it's a good day.
And have you ever got to a position where you've even thought about suicide? Do you get suicidal?
Never. I've been low sometimes, I've been down sometimes, but never that.
And tell me about your boxing career. You obviously, you start off, it's obvious you've got a big talent. You get identified, and then there comes a moment when you're not just a boxer, but you also become a kind of a figure in public life and a celebrity, all that stuff.
Right.
How hard did you find that transition?
I didn't find it hard at all. It was a little bit more harder when I went into pantomime, and then coming from pantomime, go back in the ring, because sometimes they said that I was too soft in the ring or too gentle or whatever. But I don't think so. If me and you went into the ring and you punched me in my mouth, everything could go out the window, and I'm concentrating on punching you back in the mouth, you know? So everybody thought I pantomime and different shows, little and larger, royal variety, etc., would suffer me, but it was good. What can I say? Good learning.
I promise you I'm not going to get in the ring with you and punch you in the mouth. I'm not. Absolutely no way. It's funny though. I'll tell you one bit in the book that really kind of leapt out at me. You said, this was after you'd retired.
Yeah.
You said you were becoming obsessed about returning to boxing. Throughout my life, I've noticed a clear link between my illness and thoughts of getting back in the ring. It's almost as if my bipolar disorder kicks in and unlocks a part of my brain that leads me to act and behave in an illogical way.
Yeah.
Is it very hard? Is that because it's hard to leave something when you've been right at the height of it?
It's hard to leave it, but most boxers want to come back. They feel like they get more older. They feel like they're more wiser. They feel as if they can look after themselves in the ring. You know what I mean? And beat what is around today.
What do you? But like, what age do you have to get to before you actually say to yourself, "Do you know what? I couldn't do that again."
George Foreman done it at 40, borderline 50. There's Evander Holyfield, 61, 62, what is still boxing now. There's Mike Tyson was thinking of coming back, or is back at 54. Larry Holmes came back. He was about 50, 60, or nearly 70 years of age. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there, you know, what have done it and come back and been very successful.
What was the oldest you fought at?
I thought last fight was about 36,
Yeah.
plus VAT on top of that.
So listen, you're not thinking about coming back in your 60s.
No, I'm not thinking about coming back at all. We're just having a conversation and I was
Yeah.
talking. I
Yeah.
mentioned once that I was coming back. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
So tell me this. You mentioned Mike Tyson, but also
Yeah.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
What the other interesting thing I found in your book, which I didn't know, that Mike Tyson's been in hospital for mental health conditions twice as often as you have.
Yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. What do you expect?
Well, but I'm just saying, if you got Mike Tyson and Tyson Fury, all with this kind of mental health condition, is that? Do you think there's a connection there? Do you think there's a link there?
I don't think there's a link there. There's a connection there. There's a link there with anybody that's got bipolar. There's a link there if anybody's got schizophrenia. There's a link there if you got anxiety or you got mental things. It can happen to anybody.
No, can happen to him. My point is whether there's something about boxers, about getting to do what you have to do to kind of get driven to be the best in the world at any given point.
Yeah, it can lead to that if it comes to that, but that leads to any sportsman. It's not only boxing; it can lead to any sportsman who go out there and want to achieve exactly what they want to do. Same like boxing, same like running, same like tennis, same like golf or cricket. Everybody wants to win, you know, and sometimes it gets you and winds you up, and if you lose, you're like a little baby.
How hard did you find retiring from the sport?
Very hard, very hard.
Yes.
My trainer once said to me, "You never experience life until you retire from boxing, and life is going to be hard, and you got, you know what I mean, rocky road."
And what made it particularly hard?
It was just hard when you used to get up in the morning. Like I still get up in the morning now, 4 or 5, and I have a good workout. But when you used to doing that, getting up in the morning, going back to bed, having some breakfast, going to the gym in the afternoon, coming home, have some dinner, evening dinner, or get a massage and chill out, go to bed. And if you're in a training camp, you got everything sorted out for you there.
And what about the thing about in a way you've managed to. You've always kept a public profile through your appearances and the other stuff you do.
Yeah.
Does anything ever replace the kind of the focus that there is on you when you're like a top boxer?
No, you can't. There's nothing. I've experienced what can beat it. To be honest, it's very highly pressured sport.
Yeah. So, do you think a lot of boxers struggle when they pack it in?
Yes, I do think a lot of boxers struggle. You know what I mean? Some put on a lot of weight, some get very aggressive, some has anxiety, some has manic depression. They all got some, not saying I wish anything upon them, but they all go for a phrase when they finish from boxing and they you know what I mean, can't do what they wanted to do. The publicity ain't there, the fame ain't there, the crowd ain't there no more. Yes, a lot of people do.
And
a lot of boxers do.
Right, but at least you became kind of world champion. Most boxers have to leave the sport without having had that level of success as well.
Yeah. I had to think very, very deep to get that belt. You know what I mean? I was under a lot of pressure by a lot of people in boxing, my family, for me to retire before I won the world championship of Oliver McCall. It was only borrowed. It's only for 5 minutes, but on paper, I'm part of history.
Yeah. Absolutely. How do you feel your mental health has been since coming out?
Mustn't grumble. I mean, looking after myself, going to the gym most days and keeping happy. My mental health is fine.
What does looking after yourself mean to you? What are the kind of key components of that?
Getting up in the morning, having a structure in your life. You know what I mean? Get up in the morning, go to my gym, then go to the health farm, relax and chill out, and you know what I mean. I've got a good team around me at the moment.
And so, how do you actually spend most of your days in terms of what you know?
I'll get up about 3 to 4 this
3
morning.
to 4?
4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I went to the gym. I got a wicked gym downstairs, punch bags and a lot. Have a little hour session or hour and a half, depending on how I feel. Come back, have a steamer, jump in the hot tub, relax myself. Then I'll get some breakfast put down me. Paul does the breakfast, and you know what I mean. After that, you know what I mean. I could either go back to bed or go down the hill farm again, just chill out there, go and look at some lovely ladies, up and down, don't touch, and come home. And by the time I'm home, I'm tired.
And what about work? What's a working day for you these days in terms of going out?
Working day, you know what I mean? I've got jobs up north here and there. I had a busy year last year, and it's picking up this year as well.
And is that in the kind of just, you know, out public appearances and talking?
Public appearances. I've been doing a lot of signing of the books and whatever.
Yeah. And what's your relationship? How would you define your relationship with the sport of boxing these days?
My relationship, I've always been in love with boxing because boxing has been my saviour. It's been my thing that I set out from 8 to achieve my dream. It's been everything for me. Boxing has taught me how to survive, taught me not to be a bully, you know what I mean, have respect for my elder folk and whatever, and just carry on with life. It's nice to keep. You've been a boxer, but I still look after myself, you know. I still go down the health.
And what's your assessment of the state of boxing in the world these days?
It's good. It's very, very healthy. And Britain, England is flying the flag at the moment with the fighters that we got. Tyson Furies and the little guys in like middleweights and the welterweights, even to light heavyweight, even to cruiserweight. There's some good fighters.
And how hard is it not to kind of constantly want to look back and think back to those times? Or do you feel you've always got to look forward?
I think you've got to look forward, you know what I mean, to your life. You always think that you can carry on, you know what I mean? Like I go in the gym, I'm always lifting my weights and feel very strong within myself, but it's a young man's sport. But us older men can still show them young boys how it's done.
And what do you the other thing I really enjoyed in reading the book was your relationship with Harry Carpenter, who of course when I was growing up was you know, it's different now because there's so many different outlets for sport, but you know, everybody watched the BBC and he was the voice of boxing and other sports. But it was interesting, that relationship, because what came through was almost like a father-son relationship.
Yeah.
Is that how it felt?
I was his dark son. He was one special guy, very classy guy, very, very knowledgeable. And at his sport, you could close your eyes and know that was Harry Carpenter. And I feel privileged to know him. I feel privileged to call him a friend. And we've had so much good laughs together, like the Royal Variety Show, the HP, all different things that came through. And it was just cool being around him because he was like your head teacher, your head master, or your head granddad, or an elder figure in your family that you could chill out with him. But nothing fazed him. You know?
And do you think the sort of seemingly special relationship that you had with him, do you think that was about, what was that about? Was it about him recognise something in you, or you recognising something in him?
I don't know, both. You know what I mean? When you click with somebody and you can have a laugh and you're talking in front of millions of people on television and you're laughing and you're saying, you know what I mean, Harry, it came out very well. It couldn't be. And I didn't mean to say, you know what I mean, Harry, that was if I was talking to you and you twisted me up with your posh lingo, I'd just say, you know what I mean, because I can't keep up with you. You know? Just to get out of.
So it was an accident that turned good.
It was, and I had good fun. Good man, very knowledgeable guy, a very cool guy to be around. You know, very seasoned.
Yeah, and when you're out and about now, what is it that you like and what is it that you don't like about being out and about and being Frank Bruno the whole time?
I'm glad when I'm about, because if I'm about, I'll be dead. So I'm glad I'm out and getting fresh air and whatever. No, I don't go out to look for trouble, but sometimes I go down the health farm, I go different places or whatever. I don't go out to cause any hassle. I don't go out to let people see who I am. I just go out as a normal human being, getting on with my life.
Yeah. But you're not a normal human being in that as you're going around, people know who you are. And
Yeah, but
I
I
mean,
live in an area where they're very cool. We just wave and get on
yeah.
with our daily lives.
Now, listen, you said you were a bit of a bad boy at school and you then got sent to Borstal. And then the other thing I was surprised to read about was that you were a big mate of Cass Pennant, who was like, wasn't he the main guy at the Intercity firm at one point?
Allegedly. Allegedly, yes.
So
Allegedly.
he was, but he was a good mate.
Very, very, very special friend and a good mate. If I ever get
Right.
in trouble, if I ever got a lot of things on my mind I want to talk about, I can always talk to him.
Interesting. And so, Frank, how did you meet Cass Pennant then?
Well, I used to when I won the ABA championships, I was the youngest one to win it. I had to go down to Canning Town where Terry Lawless was, because Terry Lawless was sponsoring me and he wanted to sign me. I went by train on my roller skates. I was down Canning Town underground station, and I was on my skates, and there's two skinheads coming up to me, but I didn't know what was happening. And Kaz was on the other side of the line, and he could see that it felt some vibe was going to go on. So he came over, and when he came over, the skinheads just moved and just went about their business. But I think if he weren't there, I might have been in trouble somehow. So we met at Camden Town or Mile End Station. We met, and you know, I mean,
So you were getting, you had some skinheads who fancied beating you up, and
no, well, they're coming closer to me. I don't think they were coming closer to me to give me a kiss or ask for my autograph. You know what I mean? So they were coming closer and closer to me. But I had my shoes in the bag, but I was on roller skates at the time. My transport. So yeah, they must have thought they must have as the easy one now. But I was doing karate as well, and I could learn how to kick.
And
did
they know who? Because Cass, of course, had this reputation of being quite a tidy football.
Yeah, hooligan. Yeah, and you can still.
Did they know him? Did they know who he was?
No, I don't think they knew who he was. But when they came over, they knew that they were outpowered by how big Kaz was, and how I could look after myself. Okay. If I was there by myself, it must have been. I think there might have been a little bit of trouble.
And how important has friendship been to you in your life in terms of?
Very important, because we met a long time ago under some strange circumstances on the railway station. But after that, we became friends. He's a good guy. If I had any problems, even mental problems, I was feeling a little bit anxiety kicking in. I talk to him and he calms you down. You know, he's a good, honest guy.
Because you must have found it hard once because you became very famous at quite a young age.
Yeah.
Do you think it's hard to make friends once you became very well known?
Oh, yeah, it is hard, but you know what I mean. Sometimes I get when I was younger, I got attracted to the bad boy element. You know what I mean? If you said that you robbed the bank or you're a bad boy, I'll be interested to see what caused them to get the bottle to go and rob a bank. Because I couldn't rob a bank. I had friends that would go and rob a house, and I say to them, "Say if somebody robbed your house, how would you feel?" You know what I mean? So I always had in my mind the parents. I wouldn't like that happen to me.
So you see it both ways.
No, I see it both ways, but I don't see it the way that it gives you right to go and mug somebody. Don't give you a right to go and rob somebody. What if someone done that to your mum, or done that to your father, or done that to your family? I couldn't. It didn't make sense.
And what would you say you've been lucky in terms of having good friends in your life? Because you've had people who've sort of sponged off you and maybe used you, but you've had good friends as well.
A lot. But you know, you take the rough with the smooth. There's good people out there as well as bad people. You know what I mean? And there's more good people than there is bad. You know, but the bad people, you can't run away from them. Because at the moment, there's a lot of people suffering at the moment, so they have to do bad things to survive. You know what I mean? And we don't want them to do bad things, but they haven't got no choice.
Yeah.
They've got a family, they've got kids, they've got to put money on the table, so they duck and dive which way they can.
And let me ask you this: if you were 5 you've had 5 breakdowns, really, or what would be defined
Yeah.
as breakdowns, yeah?
Right. Yeah. So they say.
All right, which from your perspective was the worst?
The first one.
Because
Because it's just a mental crazy place you go to.
and tell me
And they
about
give
what
you.
you were like before you went there. What was happening before you went there?
I was getting a divorce. I was under pressure. The first time I ever got sectioned, I was under pressure. I had a house of 75 acres. I had 4 dogs. I had all different things coming at me. So I just had a breakdown.
Mm. And tell me how that. I mean, I've had breakdowns, but just tell me in your own words how that felt. What you felt when people say you had a breakdown. I think we all have a sense of what we. I have it from my own experience, but what did it mean to you when you say you had a breakdown?
The pressure was very, very high while I was going through it. I was trying to fix the gates. I was trying to mow the lawn. I was trying to cook dinner, all for myself. It just got too much. I was in a big house with a cottage. As I said, with all the land, it just not done my head in. I just couldn't handle it all.
Yeah. How do you see the next 10 years of your life?
I'm going to enjoy it as much as I can. I'm going to try and go on holiday a little bit more, invest in my happiness, and chill out.
What does happiness mean to you?
Happiness means that if you can go on holiday, happiness is nice when you've got a nice car outside. Happiness is where things are just going all right at the moment, but you always got to be on the lookout because you always get jealous people try to put a spanner in the works.
Mm, mm. But you look, but you when you think about a decade forward, you do it with optimism.
Yes, I do, but I know that if I look after myself, eat the right sort of like food, get to bed early, you know what I mean, go down to the health farm, talk to elder people what they do and whatever. But you got one of the secret is when you retire, you got to keep moving. You can't just sit in one place because you get lethargic, you get lazy, you put on weight. You know what I mean? You get miserable. So it's nice to get out. And now I could have nicked a little bit of sun this morning because it was nice.
What's the when you've talked a couple of times about the importance of good diet and good sleep.
Yeah.
So if you're getting up at 4 a.m, what time are you going to bed?
What time I go to bed? Yesterday I went to bed about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got about 6 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Is that enough for you?
Much enough for me. Sometimes I
Right.
get 2 hours sleep. I do a lot of meditating,
Okay.
and sometimes you just get 2 hours sleep.
Oh,
But
wow.
that is good enough for me.
Right. And what about your diet? Tell me about your diet.
I eat just some food, you know what I mean? Pasta, that's just any sort of like food. What is good for you, but mainly
You
pasta,
eat healthy food.
rice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul cooks a good meal, so you know what I mean. Whatever meal you want, I could have it there.
Right. And when you're out and about, are you conscious the whole time? Is it like a mindset to think about? I've got to think about my sleep. I've got to think about my diet, or is it just sort of so ingrained in it? Because I've got to say, you look in great shape.
Cheers, thank you. You know what I mean? It's just natural. Sometimes it's happened. When I got divorced, I was living by myself. I don't. When I got divorced, I went down to the health farm, the Champions Health Farm. I stayed there for about 7 years. Been in this house I am today. I've been in this house now for 15 years, and I love it.
Right. And so is that kind of where you feel? Do you feel sort of safe there the whole time?
We're at the health farm, not here.
Oh,
In the house.
that's your
Yeah, I
base.
feel safe, but no, I like to get out and go down the health farms. I've got about 6 health farms, and I'll go to each one and chill out there sometimes. They look after you very well.
Right.
Purdue's,
And when you're doing your workout in the gym in the morning, talk me through a kind of typical.
I've got a gym. I've got a running machine. I've got a rowing machine. I've got a bike. I've got punch bags. I've got the ropes. I've got kettles. Not the kettle that you make a cup of tea with, but kettles that you use for your muscles and sit up benches and do all different things. It depends how I get up in the morning. But I just go in my music room, get myself all warmed up, turn on the heater in the gym, play some tunes, stop the tunes, and go in the gym. And I either work very hard. When I come out the gym, there's a bag outside there. I punch the bag, like I'm thinking of someone I don't like, and get out the bag and jump in the hot tub, have a sauna. You know what I mean? Wash yourself, dry yourself down, and get ready for where you got to go.
And Frank, tell me so when you're in the gym or when you're in the car or when you're walking around,
Yeah.
what sort of music are you listening to?
I listen to any sort of like music. I'm a frustrated DJ. Every time I get up in the morning at home, I've got to go in my DJ room, play some tunes to get myself mentally in the right frame of mind to go in the gym. The gym's next door to my music studio, which I just got it soundproof recently, and I love music. For me to say I love this specific music is wrong. I just love music in general. Any
So
sort of like music.
all right. So what tell me, give me some of the tunes that you played this morning then.
Mary Poppins.
No.
Yeah, Mary Poppins. The Hills Are Alive. ABBA.
Okay.
Bob
I love
Marley.
ABBA. Yeah.
Shabba Ranks. It depends what mood I'm in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pavarotti. Play anything. You know what I mean? Not, I mean that rudely, but music is beautiful when you relax your mind and enjoy. So music is the food of life.
Excellent. Did you enjoy the program you made with Mike Tyson?
I did enjoy the program, and there's another one coming out, not of Mike Tyson, but I can't really say too much. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy how quick we had to go fly in there, do what we had to do, and fly back straight away. We never had time to look about the place.
Right, but what did you get out of kind of, because obviously you know him best through sort of fighting him,
Right.
and then suddenly you're in this very different set of circumstances. And I read the transcript, but it was a very kind of personal conversation about each other, wasn't it? Your mental health, his mental health. So tell me a bit about that.
More than me. He's been sectioned more than more than me. But at the end of the day, it makes no difference. It was very chatting to him, very good. He was very calm. He was very, very chatty, and he was very, very relaxed. You know.
And what's the when you are in that sort of situation where you're with somebody that what's the difference in going on inside you between being in a ring with somebody and being outside a ring years later? How does that relationship kind of develop?
I don't know, relationship, you know what I mean? It's only platonic. There's no tongues or anything like that.
But I'd be very shocked if there was. But if it's it must be an interesting dynamic though. To you know the guy because you want to knock him out.
It's weird. I met Tyson the other day, and I met Lennox Lewis in Jamaica recently, and whatever. They're people that have beaten me, and they're fighters, and sometimes you have in the back of your mind, when I fought you, I should have knocked you out, and I should have hit you a little bit more harder, or something like that. But the memories going through your brain, you can't start hitting the guy and say, I should have won the fight more than you. But anybody you got to worry about in the mood is Tyson himself, because if he's in a violent mood and he's his friends wind him up, he could just be crazy.
What, Mike Tyson or Tyson Fury?
No, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson,
he could be a cannon, a loose cannon.
Yeah.
But I think he's calmed down.
Yeah. Well, listen, Frank, it's been great talking to you. I've really enjoyed it.
Cheers. Thank you. Nice talking to you.